Hey there, so are you ready to learn the $1 million morning routine that I developed to build 3 successful companies without burning out? And this is based on proven productivity hacks and years of just compulsively fine tuning and optimizing this routine. For those of you who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Marisa Murgatroyd. I'm the founder of Live Your Message, and I've sold over $17 million in programs and courses to help online entrepreneurs build a thriving business that really expresses who they are and makes a difference in the world. And I know that if you're interested in developing your very own $1 million morning routine, that you want to do something big in your life. You've got a message for the world, and I commend you for that, because most people, they take their life for granted. They take their time for granted. They give their time away each and every day versus reclaiming their time to really devote to their highest, best use and really living the life you were born to live, giving your gifts, making an impact, loving every minute, and not taking a single minute for granted. Now, while I do believe in optimizing your schedule, it's not about working every single minute of every single day. It's simply realizing your potential in this particular life, so you can really do what you want to with your time. That could be working, it could be loving, it could be serving, it could be all kinds of things that you feel are important for you to do. So this isn't about what to do with your time. It's about how to structure your day so you can choose to give your gifts and live your highest potential every single day. So the very, very first tip and trick is to know your chronotype. And your chronotype is basically your daily rhythms. It's when you're most productive, when you're most alive, when you tend to wake up, and to optimize your schedule for your peak productivity time. Because every single person is most productive at a different time of the day. And that's the time of the day that you want to guard as if your life depends on it. Because the honest truth is that your life does depend on it. What you can do with that time is just off the charts gigantic. So I'm at the point where I have done $1 million launches, $1 million events, even $1 million days. But it's not about the money for me. It's about the impact. It's about helping people, serving, changing their lives. And for me to do that, I had to start with my very own life. I had to put my money where my mouth is and look at how I'm spending my time, because everyone has the same number of hours and the same number of days. So whatever place you live in the world, whatever it is that you do, how you choose to use that time is mission critical. So I'm going to share my schedule, which is based on my lion chronotype. And lion chronotypes are basically people who tend to wake up early in the morning with a whole lot of energy. And then by early evening, we are just dead to the world. There's other chronotypes like the dolphin, the bear, the wolf. So you might want to look that up and just see who you are. And keep in mind that if you've got a different chronotype than me, you may work with different timetable than what I'm sharing here. But a lot of the key principles and the things that I do during my peak productivity hours still relate to you. So look at what you can take away and apply to yourself. But with everything, it's about optimizing for your body rhythms and your flow. Because I believe that the path of least resistance to creating abundance and wealth and impact in your life is to find your specific flow and not try to follow anybody else's, but to work with your unique design, your body rhythms, your pacing, your type, and to really know that and optimize for yourself. And everybody is a little bit different. And that's kind of the beauty of life. So here's the thing. Like I said, I'm a lion, and that means I wake up and I'm like, whoa. I feel like I'm plugged into the universe and I can create anything, and I'm on fire, and there's no resistance between me and the act of creating. So whether I'm writing, thinking, brainstorming, speaking, it just flows out of me. So I do a lot of my kind of creative cave work in the morning. But here's the twist. I don't even take a shower, eat, or work out when I wake up, because I don't want to lose a minute of that peak productivity time, because I know I'm so tapped in the morning that I feel unstoppable. Like I can create anything. Like I can create new worlds, things that didn't even exist in the morning. That feels easy to me to do before breakfast time. So usually I dive in and I focus, and I love this time. I don't give my mornings to anybody because there's few things more fulfilling in my life than just tapping in and connecting and allowing inspiration to flow through me. And that's the time where I'm most tapped in. And like I said, that's my time. And I live my life to have that time every morning. And as long as I have that time, I can do anything else at other times of day. But if you take away that time, I become grumpy and a little bit bitchy, and that's not me. So usually after about 2 to 3 hours of doing that, just creating on my computer, typing it out, I'm gonna need my first break. And that's when I do my morning workout, and that's when I take my shower. So my morning workout, I use an app called 7, and it's the scientific 7-minute workout that's designed to work all the different parts of your body in just 7 minutes. So it's hyper effective. It's really about bursting, really high bursts of intensity. And so it's efficient. And that's what I'm looking here for. So I do my workout, I take a shower, then I dive back in for another 2 to 3 hours because my peak productivity cycle, it lasts about 4 to 6 hours from like 6 or 7 in the morning to 11 or 12 in the morning. So only after I finish that second cycle do I eat my first meal and have my first caffeine. Because I find if I eat too early or I drink caffeine too early, I go into a high and a crash. And then I burn out a lot faster in the day and I can't sustain all the way to the afternoon and all the way to the early evening. But by pushing out that first meal, by pushing out that first caffeine and just working on my own momentum and my own steam in the morning, it really prevents that burnout cycle because I'm not relying on anything but my own inspiration, my own natural energy, my own rhythms to create at that time. So a lot of times if I wake up, I eat, I take caffeine, like 2 hours later, I'm famished and it's only been a couple hours and I have to stop and I have to eat again or I have to slam another coffee or another tea or whatever it happens to be. But by waiting, by intermittent fasting, that's really allowed me to extend my productive day by quite a lot and feel energized all the way through the afternoon when I normally crash. Now, mind you, I never thought I could do intermittent fasting. When people told me about it, my husband did it and he doesn't eat until like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I'm like, boy, you gotta be crazy. I wake up and I am hungry and I need to eat right then and there, or so I thought that I did. But what I found, and I kind of found this by accident, by just being so in my zone one day that I forgot to eat. And then all of a sudden it was noon. I'm like, oh, wait, I have to eat. And then I realized that even though I wake up hungry, if I simply just focus in on what I'm creating, I quickly lose track of my hunger and I focus on the creativity. And I do it with so much more energy. It's like I'm applying my hunger to the work that I'm creating versus applying it to food, right? And because of that, I'm now eating at, say, 12 or 12:30 for my very first meal of the day, and I'm waking up at 6. So I might be up for 6 hours before I eat, but my productivity is through the roof. And it's also good for your figure ladies if you care about that kind of thing. So the morning is what I call my basically time traveler mode, because I feel like I'm outside of space and I feel like I'm outside of time, and I can just tune in and create what I want without worrying about the world. My email's off, my Slack's off, my cell phone's off. Nobody gets to me unless I want them to get to me. And like I said, I protect that time with my life. And this whole idea of this time traveler mode in the morning, it actually goes all the way back to when I was in high school. So believe it or not, I have an island named after me. And when I was in high school, I went to visit my grandparents who live in Wisconsin, Rapids, Wisconsin. And they live right on a lake. And so every morning, I decided to paddle out into the middle of the lake and go hang my hammock on an island and read. It was the summer I decided to read Dostoevsky's Anna Karenina, right? So every day I paddled out to read this just gigantic 1,000-page Russian novel. Who was a geek in high school? Anybody else? You know, I always say there are people who peak in high school, and they're the people who were nerdy in high school and peak later. And personally, I prefer to peak later in my life, you know? Anyway, a whole tangent over there. So I would just get into the zone on the island every single day and read for hours and hours. And I'd only paddle back in when my grandma would call out, Marisa, time for lunch. And then I'd paddle back in from the island and have lunch with the family. But those hours on the island where I could just melt into the hammock and melt into the world of Dostoevsky and like 19th century Russia, they were heaven to me. They were so deeply rejuvenating. And I feel like I've spent my entire adult life, you know, I think 25 years trying to get back to that island, population one. So even though I'm an extrovert, even though I love people, even though I've got this big team, even though I'm married, even though I've got family commitments, I look at every single morning like Maurice's Island, population one. And simply giving myself those hours in the morning, I can do anything else in the day. And I feel like I am fueled for the rest of the day because that creative time, I live my life for that time. Like I said, I've had $1 million launches, $1 million events, $1 million days, but it's not about what happens when I say step on a stage or step in front of a big audience or get on a webinar. It's what happens and how I live my life outside of those peak moments in the spotlight that allow me to step onto that stage with so much power and so much grace and to deliver no matter what's going on in the world. So I live my life for Maurice's Island. And I've had people feel sorry for me and feel like, oh my gosh, all Marisa does is work. And that's not the case. I do that because that's where I find so much joy, so much creativity. And sometimes I feel sorry for people who haven't found that flow in their own lives. So I'm willing to say no to a lot of people and put up a lot of boundaries to be on Maurice's Island every single morning, population one. And that's super duper important. It's got to be population one for me to be in my genius zone because I'm in my genius zone when I'm alone in my creative cave. So I've got to be comfortable telling the world, not open for business right now. Marisa is not available, and not to play nice to everyone else in my life because there's a difference between being nice and being kind. And being nice is often placating or pleasing versus kindness comes from that deep alignment with your own truth and the truth of the moment. And that's what I want to stand for in my life. So after I eat lunch at say 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then I go into much more of an external, facing the world mode because I find it takes a lot less energy really for me to be in that mode of teaching webinars, talking to clients, managing my team, doing emails, being responsive to everyone and everything than it does for me to take something and basically create it from scratch, do something that's never existed in the world. So those are all the things in the afternoon that I don't need that peak productivity for. I do have energy because, like I said, I've just expanded my energy through the afternoon through intermittent fasting. So I can be on calls for 3 or 4 or 5 hours without burning out while still having energy and being able to be present with everyone, being able to deliver those webinars, really be with my clients, be with my team, return those emails. So that's good to know about yourself is when you need your peak productivity, because I need my peak productivity to create something new, which is usually in the form of writing. I don't need my peak productivity to speak or to perform because that's co-creative. I'm co-creating with you, even though I'm on camera and you're the audience member, so it feels like you're far away, but I get to co-create and speak to you. And that's easier than just, say, writing alone by myself, even if I'm writing something to be delivered to somebody else. So that's kind of like how I live my life. And then about 5 o'clock when I finish my calls, I log off. I take a long hike with my husband, Murray. We live in Topanga Canyon. So one of our goals of where to live is to live in a sanctuary. And it feels like we're embraced by the land, by our backyard, but also to live somewhere where we could walk to hike versus driving to hike. So because of that, we hike every single day. We've been able to hike every single day during the pandemic. And then we come home. We shower, we make a healthy dinner, we eat in what we call paradise, which is our living room, oftentimes binging on Netflix, chatting, just hanging out. And that's our lives right now. And the truth is that when the pandemic first started and all of a sudden my life, my schedule was stripped of so many events, so many business commitments, social commitments, all these other extra things, going out to eat, things like that, I kind of got sloppy with my schedule for a while. And I just let myself sort of wake up whenever. I didn't really know what I was going to do in the morning when I woke up. And I just found my days turning into weeks, turning into months, and realizing that I was losing just so much of my life. I was letting the external world, the external situation, the external circumstances to really determine what I did every single day. And I think that no matter what's happening in the world, no matter what's happening in the economy, that you're able to take charge of your day, or at least how you choose to spend your life energy, or at least your discretionary energy, and to use that in a way that has you on your path, living your message, doing the things that allow you to realize your highest potential, to serve, to make the difference you're here to make, do your big work in the world, rather than just giving your time away. And our business is up 25% since I've been doing this, since all that happened, despite some major setbacks because of the pandemic. And it's because I'm taking charge of my time, not letting the world tell me what its priorities are, not letting the world tell me that it has plans for me, but choosing to make plans for myself and defining my own priorities and telling the world I'm not available because I've got other plans. Because if you don't set your plans, you don't set your priorities, everyone else is going to set them for you. And that's not how you live a fully embodied, awakened, on fire, alive life. And that's what I want for you. All right? To really live that life, live your message to the absolute fullest. And you can do this. And I know it sounds intense, and it sounds more intense, but when you're in it, it's like you're in the flow and it's just unfolding. You know, your design is unfolding, your life is unfolding, and you get to a place that feels almost timeless. And to me, that's how I live my life. I choose not to do anything that compromises Maurice's Island in the morning, which means not having super late nights, going out drinking or doing drugs or anything like that. And no judgment if that's you. Totally up to you how you want to live my life. But I just know that I want to optimize my life for that genius zone, that place that only I can be in, where my best work comes out, because that is so fulfilling. Let me tell you. And if you haven't had the opportunity to truly experience that, much less make that an everyday part of your life, I highly recommend believing it's possible for you, because as humans, I think it's so easy to live just a fraction of our potential. And you've just got to claim, all of you, your full potential, and to set in place the boundaries that make that possible, which often means saying no and being kind rather than being nice. But it's your life, and you get to choose how you want to spend it. And I just wanted to share with you my $1 million morning routine, which has allowed me to literally make millions of dollars. But more than the millions of dollars, I'm here to serve. I'm here to make an impact. I'm here to do the work that I was born to do in the world, and to teach other people like you to do the work that you were born in the world. So take a moment now to subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I'm going to be doing videos like this on a regular basis, videos about entrepreneur mindset, living the laptop lifestyle, building your online business, your courses, and having that return on impact with your life. So if you want to check out all of that, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because I'm lit up. I decided, you know what? To hell with it. I don't have my video team. I don't have my makeup artist. I don't have my hairstylist. You know, my hair is actually really long because I can't get a haircut. But to hell with it. I'm just going to do this from my laptop in my office with no other set, and just see me real, see me raw, and share. Because the truth is, what matters most is what you stand for, your beliefs, your ideas, how you're being, and all that. It's nice, but it's not essential. So here it is, raw, unfiltered, from my mouth to your ears. And thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you want to do, what you want to add or take away from your morning routine to increase your energy, your vitality, to have that through the entire day. Or let me know of anything else you want me to record a video about. And I'm happy to take some requests and just make sure that I'm serving you with content that's going to help your life. All right, go out there, live your message. Love you all. Bye.